It's possible on a compound bow because of these cams. It creates a mechanical advantage. So when you draw a compound bow back, it's hard, and then boom, there's a let off. It drops off 60 to 80%. So to hold a 60-pound compound bow back, it's only 20 pounds. But a 60-pound trad bow is 60 pounds. So is it possible to get let off with a traditional bow? Well, this is as close as I can get. Here's 3 minutes of me building the bow and how I build it. If you want to know how I built the riser, that's in that other video. Otherwise, you can skip 3 minutes forward to see why this is so cool. Bamboo, walnut, and fiberglass is used for the limbs. EA40, a 2-part epoxy, is used to laminate them together. Heating the glue in a toaster oven helps it spread easier. Acetone to clean the limbs. Make sure everything's evenly spread. I've been testing out different designs for different forms. This one I'm using here is one I do not like. It works, but it's very hard to get the bow in place and to keep everything square. While making these 4 bows, I messed up 2 limbs and had to trash them. This form is no good. I use a heat strip with a temperature regulator. The heat strip will burn the material, so the temperature regulator will automatically shut it off before it gets too hot. The easiest way to remove the plastic is to sand the sides down and the plastic comes right off. Scuffing up the ends for tip overlays and preparing phenolic, the strongest material for tip overlays. I'm using white and black to give it a little bit of color contrast. After the tip overlays are on, it's a matter of taking away all the material I don't need, which consists of finding the torsional center line rather than the numerical center line, preventing limb twists, shaping to fit, tillering, and making the limbs match to each other, filing in string grooves, and drilling holes for the hardware.
I went out and tried to cut a pine tree down, fell through the ground like Alice. Oh, what a sound. This must be a nest. I got rocks and sticks against my chest. I'm Alice. Dear Queen of Hearts, I'ma grow you white roses so you can learn to be kind. Tell King of Hearts to arm all his forces so you can learn to be kind.
Suede with 3M sticky on the back does good to silence the bow. These aren't perfect, but they all shoot great. So let's throw my wife's compound bow on the tillering tree real quick to see the draw weight curve. It doesn't fit on my typical tillering tree, so I'm gonna have to customize it. I almost started building something complicated, but I think I have a quick temporary solution for this light poundage compound. There we go. This is not super stable, but it'll do. So you can see, I think this one, we'll see how heavy it is, but as I draw it down, it's gonna increase. 25, 28, 30. So now 27, 26, 22, 20, 17. Full let off, we are at 11 pounds. So 30 down to 11. If I'm not mistaken, that's pretty close to a 60% let off. Draw length, this one is going to be draw weight with a B. Why a B? Because I can't talk and write at the same time. Okay, so this is the amazing thing about a compound. It's going to peak in its draw weight here, and then it drops off here at full draw. When we use a compound at full draw, it takes much less muscle to hold it back, almost allowing us to rest as we aim and release the trigger, making it easier to be accurate. Okay, so now for the normal traditional bow. It's gonna be something like that to full draw. Although there is some traditional bows that have an easy early draw and increase near the end. It gets much harder. But with this version of bow we built today, what we've actually accomplished is a little bit earlier heavy draw, and then we flatten out near the end. So with this bow right here, why it's so exciting is because when you get to here and then here, it's barely a difference in change in draw weight, which can mean more accuracy because for 1 inch, well, let's test it. Okay, so we are going to test right now what the last inch of draw weight is. What's the change? I've done this to numerous bows, maybe 50, and average is about 4 pounds on that last inch, 3.75 to be exact. So with this bow here, and then the last inch, 1 3/4 pounds is that last inch. So ask yourself, is 3 3/4 pound difference or a 1 3/4 pound difference gonna change your arrow flight more? The larger change in draw weight will change your arrow flight more. Meaning if your anchor point is 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch off, it's more forgiving to shoot a bow like this. That's my theory at least, and from personal experience, that's how it feels. Here's what I've done over the past year. I built a template for the limb risers and bolts. And then I started out building different forms for different limbs. And I started building different risers for different riser shapes. You can see these two riser shapes are completely different. But the cool thing is I can take these limbs and put them on this riser. You'll see how different these limb shapes are as well. Completely different. So I did this and repeated it, and I have like 8 different riser shapes and 8 different limb designs. What's cool about this is I can interchange all of these. So if I'm thinking about this correctly, that means I have 64 different bow designs I created by building 8 different bows that are interchangeable. And after testing all of this, I have landed on about 2 of them that are awesome, about 10 of them that are pretty stinking good, and the rest aren't quite as good as I'd like them to be. This is one of the 2 best designs. This isn't just changing the shape of the limb. Here's what else you can change. The length and material of your wedge, the core material and how much you taper it or how much you don't, as well as how much you taper the width of the limb. With this one, you'll see there's a tip overlay wedge between the bamboo, but no tip overlay to try to increase speed. You can change the riser length, like a short one here versus a long one here. here. You can change the angle that it comes off the riser. This one's just parallel coming off. This one's angled towards the archer a little bit, and this one's angled toward the archer even more. You can change the position of the handle relative to where the string is at brace height. This one has a forward-facing handle. This is a rear-facing handle. This one's completely neutral. You can imagine how a design change from this to this makes a complete difference with having the handle so much closer to the archer or so much further from the archer, essentially making the draw length lower with this bow, but making the draw length further with this bow. Out of all the bows I own, it's my favorite one today. Tomorrow, I'll probably build another one.